Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use the zero product property to solve quadratic equations in the form of trinomials, like the one shown right here. We have x squared plus 6x plus 8. So to restate the zero product property, it means if we have two numbers being multiplied that equal 0, then one of the numbers have to equal 0. So here we have a trinomial, and we're like, well, how do you do that? Well, if it's a trinomial, in the form of a trinomial, what we're going to do is factor that trinomial into two binomials. So for example, it's going to look something like this. We're going to have something times something else equals 0. So we're going to have some numbers in here, like a plus b and a plus or c plus D or something like that. So we want to factor these out into two binomials like this over here. The first thing is to remember, how do we factor a trinomial or something with three terms? One method is to think of, well, I know I've shown my students the x. So if it starts with just an x right here, we can fill out the special x form right here, putting our last term in the top portion right here. So we're going to put a positive 8 here, and our middle term is the 6, so we're going to put the 6 down here. So we want to find the factors. That means the things that multiply to 8, but when we combine them together, they come out to be 6. So we think through that and we say, okay, so what works? Well, the factors of 8 that will add to 6, or a positive 6, would be 2 and 4. So we're going to use these factors right here. Use those factors as our terms in our binomial. So we end up with our two binomials right here, because we're separating it into a product. So we're going to say x and x. That's how we get our x squared. Now this is where we use our factors that we found. We have a positive 2 and a positive 4. So if I multiply these back out all the way through, we should get this trinomial. So 2x plus 4x gives us this 6x. 2 plus 4 gives us 6. So here, now we have a product of two binomials, or I have this quantity times this quantity equals 0. So I can now apply this zero product rule. And to apply the zero product rule is to set these two binomials both equal to 0. So x plus 2 equals 0 and x plus 4 equal to 0. And let's go ahead and solve this first one. So to solve this first one, we're going to subtract 2 from both sides, leaving us with x equals negative 2. And then this equation right here, we're going to subtract 4 from both sides, because x plus 4, we're going to subtract 4 from both sides, leaving us with x equals a negative 4. So our two solutions, or the two values of x that makes this product equal 0, is negative 2 and negative 4. Okay, let me try another, or I'm going to show you another example of factoring. And again, I'm going to use that x strategy. So we want to apply the zero product property to this quadratic, it should be equation. I'm sorry, we need to equal 0. So this quadratic equation, we want to use the zero product property. So we need to factor this trinomial into two binomials. So once again, I'm going to use the strategy that I've shown my students, is using the factor x, or this special x, or we used to put circles around it, but the top portion is going to be our last term, the negative 18. The negative 18 goes here, and then the negative 7 goes down here. So once again, the rules to fill out this puzzle, fill out this x, is we want the factors of negative 18, the numbers that multiply to be negative 18. That gives us negative 7. So let me think of some of the factors of negative 18. Negative 18 could be negative 18 times 1. It can be 18 times negative 1. It can be negative 6 times 3, or it could be 6 times negative 3. What else? We could have negative 9 times 2, or we could have 9 times negative 2. So these are all the different factors of negative 18. So we want to find which one of these factors, or these pairs of factors, if we combine them together, will give us a negative 7. So this one gives us a negative 17, positive 17, negative 3, positive 3, negative 7, positive 7. So it's this one right here. So we get negative 9. So that's what we're going to plug right into here. We're going to say negative 9 and 2. So this gives us the factors that we need to go ahead and write our two binomials. So we separate it into m times m. Right here, we're going to put in our values. We're going to put in, I'll keep it color coordinated. So minus 9 goes there, and plus 2 goes there. And remember, this is an equation, it equals 0. So now we have two binomials, or a product right here that equals 0. We can apply the zero product property. So let's go ahead and separate these two as m minus 9 equals 0 and m plus 2 equals 0. So we're going to solve these independently. So m minus 9 equals 0. We're going to go ahead and add 9 to both sides, giving us m equals 9. And then over here, we're going to solve for m, and it has a plus 2, so we're going to subtract 2 to both sides. So here we get m equals negative 2. So this trinomial, or this quadratic equation, the values of m that makes this equal to 0 are 9 and negative 2, meaning if I substitute 9 into here, it's going to equal 0. If I substitute negative 2 into here, it's going to equal to 0, because we know from here we can see that these two become 0 with these values. So next, I'm going to give you some equations for you to go ahead and apply the zero product property and see if you're able to factor and solve these quadratics. Okay, so at this time, you go ahead and pause the video, work out each of these 3 examples, and then unpause it to check to see if you got the same answers or the correct answers that you should have gotten. So go ahead and pause the video now. So here are the answers you should have gotten. If you got these as your answers, good. If not, go back, check your steps. Make sure that you did everything correctly, from factoring to finding the correct factors, and check your addition and subtraction. If you did get these right, great job. You're good to go, and good luck on the rest. All right.